It's Claire Hughes, and today I want to talk about learning to trust again. I did a survey not too long ago asking women what it is that they would like to see better, see changed in their life. And the one thing that kept coming up over and over was learning to trust people again. And I know in my life I've had various situations where I've lost trust in people, but more importantly, I lost trust in myself. And I read somewhere the phrase that says the best way to find out if you can trust again is to trust again. So there are many unknowns about learning to trust, but we have to just decide to go in and trust again. We can't sit in fear because we're not learning anything when we're sitting in fear, and it's we would get taken advantage of if we were taken advantage of, or we're worried about losing someone or something. We can't sit in that fear um, because we're never going to be able to progress and move forward. So we have to learn to walk through it and begin again and trust ourselves more, and then trust that person. We're very resilient people, and the only thing that really bothers us when we're hurt is really ego. So our ego doesn't want to be embarrassed or hurt or fooled again. So it's our ego that's really getting in the way. That's the fear, that's the hurt. So it's important to take small steps, um, small trusting steps. Start to trust yourself a little bit more. Trust your, start to trust others a little more. We can't avoid situations because of the what ifs and the unknowns. So we learned to trust by trusting. And by trusting, we say we know that this is a good person, and that people make bad choices, and we're willing to give them a chance again, and ourself a chance again to trust. And then I know some people, because I was one of them, I would trust and I'd get burned, and I'd get trust and I'd get burned, and then you just don't want to trust anymore. So um, it's really difficult to put yourself out there each time, because you're kind of like, oh God, now I'm going to get burned again. So, but it is important to just keep going, I wouldn't say if you were burned a few times by the same person, I wouldn't say to trust them again. I would say move on and learn to trust again. And I'm saying this from experience. In my first marriage, uh, I was burned over and over again. The trust was gone. The marriage was over. But then I had to go out into the world. I'm a single mother, and do I trust people enough to come into my life to be around me and my child? Am I going to trust people enough to, build a relationship again? I had to just really learn to just give it another try. You just had to keep at it, keep trying. But I also had to learn that this new person, this new relationship is not the old relationship. So I couldn't bring what I had and what I gathered and what I felt from that old relationship and that other person to the new relationship. So it was a challenge, because it's not easy when you've been burned over and over again to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and learn to trust again. You have to do it, because otherwise you're just not getting anywhere, and you're just never going to be with anybody or get anywhere. And it goes not just in relationships, it's in business as well. You have to be able to trust the people that you're working with and for, and put yourself out there. But you also have to learn from the experiences. Life can be tough, but we have to draw on the positive experiences, and know that the past doesn't define us. So use your experiences as a springboard to learn and grow and trust. And also take a look at yourself and your relationships and your experiences, and see if there's any patterns. No one dies from being fooled. It's your ego. Your ego is bruised, but it's not the end of the world. You will recover from it. You won't feel very good about things. That everybody has to go through it all, but know that it is temporary, and use it as a learning experience. Learn to transform yourself. Don't stay the same person in the relationship. or in the next job that you were in the last relationship. You have to learn and grow and step through your fears. So I know this is quick, but I did want to put this out there because the one thing that kept coming up is, how do I trust? I want to learn to trust again, and really the only solution is to go and trust again. You have to put yourself out there. You can't just sit there and worry about the unknown. What about, I'm going to get judged, and there's all these other fears that keep coming up, and you have to just step through it and just put yourself out there. And it may happen over and over again, but then that's the time that you take a minute and you look at yourself and say, is there something that you are doing or you are saying and you are acting out that may be causing these patterns? Like maybe, if you're going from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship, and there's just major trust issues in each one of them, maybe the common denominator that's there is yourself. And that's when you have to take a good hard look at yourself, and is there some kind of pattern that you're bringing forward to these other relationships, and is it a trust issue? And if it is a trust issue, it's time to take a good solid look at who you are and how you're facing things. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you learn to trust again, and you grow and you step through those fears. And it doesn't matter what age you're at or what where the trust issue is, if it's in your personal life or in your business life, it doesn't really matter. Just take a look at what is going on and how it's happening. Is it something that maybe you're doing or saying that you may not even be aware of until you start taking a good solid look, an honest look at yourself and what it is that you're doing. So learning to retrust is not easy. I mean, I struggled with it for a long time, and I had to recognize that my new husband is not my old husband, and that I could not bring what I've felt, my ego being bruised back then, all the crap that I went through was not coming forward with me. I had to make sure that I was leaving it in the past and starting fresh and starting new. This is a new person. This is a trust. It's a trust thing. I need to learn to trust them, and I need to learn to trust me. So if you're having difficulties, know that I'm here. I'm here as a coach, and what I do is help people to get through their fears. I know it's not easy, and I know it's not easy, especially when you're doing it on your own. Maybe somebody on the outside sees something that you may not be seeing or may not be willing to see. It really is different person to person, but know that I'm here. I didn't have anybody that could walk me through things. I really had to struggle on my own, did a lot of reading, and a lot of just deep, looking deep down inside me to see what it is that I may be doing and projecting to have this reoccurring untrust, the non-trust going on around me. So I hope this has been helpful. Maybe it's going to help you in your life. Maybe it will help somebody else in their life. If there's somebody out there that that's going through this, that just keeps going from relationship to relationship, a little bit of a Taylor Swift going on there. Maybe you could share this with them. Maybe it would be helpful to them. I'd love to hear what you think. Please comment on my Facebook page. I'd love to hear from you. And that's it. I hope that this is really useful and that you share it with others if they might be going through it. So hopefully it will help somebody else not have to go through what I've gone through. So thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye.